Okay, in the ongoing conversation about why the youth are not showing up both to public protests and things like town halls with their electeds and other grassroots organizing events at the same rate that maybe the youth in previous generations did, or at the same rate as boomers and Gen X and elder millennials are right now. This comment was left on one of my videos. I think it's because we don't know what normal politics is. Our whole political lives have been poisoned by Trump and MAGA, yes. Also, the planet is dying. We can't buy homes. What's the point? Yeah, I mean, 3 of my 4 kids are all Gen Z, and amongst their friend group, the nihilism is very real. I've noticed in their friend group over the last few years this kind of ecclesiastical mindset. And by that, I mean everything is meaningless. I chase after the wind. That kind of like, well, we're totally screwed, so we might as well indulge ourselves. We might as well spend, like, why save for retirement? Because we're not going to have a retirement. We're never going to be able to retire. We have to work forever. Why save for a down payment on a house? We're never going to be able to afford a house. So we might as well treat ourselves right now whenever we can. And also kind of like nothing really matters. And I think there's also this layer of trauma from the pandemic, right? My kids call themselves pandemic babies, even though that may not be the way that other people use that term. I don't really know. It's not that they were very young children during the pandemic. It's that the development of all of these folks who were in junior high and high school during the pandemic, their development has been really stunted. They didn't really have their launch into adulthood. They lost a really important, significant chunk of their social development due to the pandemic, Trump's complete mangling of it. And they had to sit there and watch adults prioritize the economy over human lives. And also the pandemic, can we remember back that far, really felt like a doomsday scenario for a lot of us. We thought life would never be the same again. We weren't sure if we were going to live through it. We didn't know how many of our loved ones we were going to have to lose, and how much that was compounded by this underpinning kind of apocalyptic thinking in American society, especially amongst evangelicals and LDS. If the world is about to end, you don't really have to try that hard to make a better world. Either it's doomed and it's all about to be over, or a savior is on the horizon. The second coming is about to happen. Somebody else will fix the problems for us, instead of the reality, which is we have to solve the problems ourselves. So when my generation was out having youth experiences, connecting with people, figuring out how society works and where we fit into it, really coming into our own as people, differentiating ourselves from our parents, Gen Z were all trapped at home, living out what they thought was the end of the world. And while the world didn't end because of the pandemic, a lot of things were royally fucked and are a lot worse than they used to be. And I also think this point here, they've never experienced a political climate that did not include Trump and MAGA. I said that in another video. They grew up with QAnon and the kind of absolutely unhinged politics of the last several years of the, Trump years. They don't really have a concept for what normal political engagement looks like from constituents, from the populace. And I don't know how to help Gen Z with this. I just will keep reiterating that a better world is possible. I just posted a video on my backup talking about this. The future is still what we make of it. We do not have to sit passively by and feel despair and apathy and say there's no point in trying. Donald Trump gets to write my future and I just have to sit here and receive it. I don't have to take ownership. I don't have to do the work. I just accept the doom that is coming my way. It's still that apocalyptic thinking and outside forces acting on me, and I am just going to passively receive what is going to come inevitably. When the truth is that we get to write the future. It doesn't have to be up to Donald Trump. We, the people, outnumber him 340 million to 1. This still is a democracy. The power still lies with the people if we want to seize it and if we want to exercise it. And I guess for anybody who's feeling discouraged and feeling apathetic, but especially for Gen Z, I just want y'all to understand that you have a chance to write the future. You can create an America where we can all afford to buy a home, where we have universal health care, where we have a living wage, where you can afford to have kids if you want them. We can end homelessness and poverty. We can protect the environment. We can preserve and conserve the commons, have beautiful national parks. We can fully fund science. We can have a high quality of life for every single working class person in America. All it takes is that we tax the rich. The wealth is already here in this country. The wealth exists. It is just all consolidated amongst a few at the top who are screwing the rest of us royally. The few at the top steal our life hours, they steal our labor, they steal our money, and they definitely want to start stealing more and more of our tax money. That's all that Elon Musk is doing right now. They want to get richer and live in the lap of luxury off of our backs, but it does not have to be that way. We do not have to be consigned to that fate. Gen Z, if there is any way that I can get you to reframe what is happening and to understand that the future is not yet written, and you and I and 340 million people do not have to sit by and let Donald Trump and Elon Musk and a few other super rich people write that future for us. We get to decide. We get to dream now what kind of country we want. We get to decide that the folks in the Trump regime get to face accountability. We get to decide what life looks like for working class America. We get to decide what prosperity looks like for us. The reason that all of these good and worthy things and the good quality of life that we all want felt unattainable in the past is because we believed the lie that billionaires get to write our future, that billionaires get to make the decisions for the rest of us. And I hope we are starting to realize that that is a lie that has been sold to all of us. And that ultimately that oppressive reality where they are exploiting all of us so they can get richer and richer and richer, that cannot be maintained in a democratic system. They can't keep stealing our life hours, our labor, our money from us in a democratic system. So the only way they can keep fucking all of us, pilfering the federal government, gutting it, and taking our money is to institute authoritarianism. This level of exploitation we've been living with under late-stage capitalism cannot be maintained. That is why we are experiencing this reality right now today. But they can only maintain this in the short term through fear, coercion, and oppression. And they're afraid of us because they know that the power actually lies with all of us. And they are really, really trying to deter us from exercising that power, from taking back what belongs to us, from reclaiming and reimagining the American dream, one where we all get to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's the future that we can write. It's going to take all of us setting aside our differences and working together. And we need Gen Z. We need y'all to come on board with us. We would love your outlook, your insight, your energy to help make that better world with us. It doesn't have to feel hopeless because it's not hopeless, but hope must prompt action. And we absolutely can act and make that future that you want, a future that feels and is hopeful.